talk about kids. We work with them all the time. We've got them.
Yeah.
We love them. They test us. But we're so passionate about how important some things are to do with kids. And particularly today, we're going to talk about why movement in kids is so important.
So normally, well, it's not normally, but I have heard, be still, stop moving. We've got to stop doing that because there are so many different reasons why kids will be moving or fidgeting or just getting up and running around. Okay, sometimes it's not appropriate, and yes, sometimes we do need to give them those boundaries. But why do we also need to let them move, Lindsay?
Oh my goodness. So how many of you know that speech is also a gross motor skill? There's quite a few people that don't realise it. So movement, we know, is a gross motor skill.
Can you just explain what a gross motor skill is for people who don't necessarily know?
Oh, so your fine motor skills are things like being able to do the intricacies of learning to write. Yeah, your gross motor skills are to do with like your balance, coordination, speech, language development.
So these are really
really important skills
in kids, from like babies upwards.
Yeah. Now, movement is one of the things that helps develop speech. Now, people wouldn't necessarily put those things together. They'd be like, right, look at me, copy me, and do the sounds. Now, yes, we need that.
Because we do a lot of our work through mimicry.
100%. But the gross motor skills develop from a really young age through movement. Because before we can speak, a young child moves and they explore the world through climbing, crawling, balancing, falling, standing, holding, gripping, wobbling, squeezing through little holes where they shouldn't be, going into mud, feeling the textures. All of these different experiences help them in their speech and language development. Now, there's a lot around speech and language development at the moment, a lack of resources around it to help young people that need support with it. Movement is such a valuable tool. And I have the absolute pleasure of going to a nursery every single week and seeing the impact that movement is having on these young people and exploring stories through movement. But one question I want to ask you, have you ever seen a child before they can speak? How do they communicate with you? Becky, when yours were little, what did your children used to do?
You always look for the smile, don't you? You look for what's one of the biggest things. It's got to be that look into you, that smile. It's the moving the arms, it's getting the excitement, and they can't stand, they can't move. Sometimes they can't even roll at that stage, but you can see they're excited because their body does move.
And when they're upset, what happens to their body?
Oh gosh, it goes bright red, and they can't breathe because everything's gone tight and tense.
And their fists tense. Their hands aren't loose, their fists tense. Their legs go tense, their bodies go tense. So straight away, their bodies, before they can speak, are communicating their emotions. Now, if we stop young children moving, exploring, not necessarily through dance, obviously I'm passionate about dance, but moving and exploring what their bodies can do, they're also losing the ability to explore their emotions and explore the signals that their bodies are giving to them. And where we see young children being made to sit quiet, sit still, not talk, it's just freezing it up. Because some children do not have the words to communicate how they feel, but they have the movement to show you. And us as professionals who are working with young people, that's your first cue to really see what's going on. And it's not just with young children, it's even with adults. And then going into teenagers, or whoever we're working with.
We talk about body language all the time, don't we?
The body gives the cue.
And it's down to this gross motor skills and the development from about babies onwards.
Yeah, and allowing an awareness with it and a connection to it. I mean, I do things all the time when I'm nervous or feeling different things. Do you have little body cues you do, Becky? So like I tap my foot quite a lot. I will sway quite a lot to kind of calm myself. We'll see. What's yours? What do you do?
Oh, my leg goes.
Your leg goes, yeah. We've got other people who I know do this. fidget with their fingers or cracking, but they're using their body to express that sort of emotion. So movement for young children is so important, because it allows them not only to understand what their bodies are doing and develop these connections with language and expression, it also allows them to explore connections with others and other people, and about their awareness of their body in space and time and their surroundings.
So I've got a question for you.
Okay, go.
So we're a few years after the pandemic now, and COVID. So we're at the stage where a lot of those babies that were born are either kind of like in the first stage of school or heading into school. Just we're in that very much early years and key stage 1.
Yep.
Has COVID had an impact on those children? Have you seen that in your work with the nurseries?
100%.
So what have you seen?
So we've seen children that have got very poor core skills in their core muscles in their tummies, because they haven't done much exploring and much playing and crawling. We've seen children that haven't got the ability to sit, and I know that sounds, but even sit on the floor, because they haven't explored different levels or been played. They're very much being quite passive at home. They haven't got the strength to be able to bend their knees, to be able to then come back up to standing, to do jumps or to balance on one leg. And then that has had a really negative impact on their ability to socialise and play with their friends within a playground setting for the other children who have experienced it. And you've already got children who are in preschool age going, I can't do it, and feeling down.
Whereas preschool age is normally that age, isn't it, where kids are trying to explore everything and trying to do everything, and 9 times out of 10 you're sitting there. I can remember doing this with all my kids. My daughter in particular, she had no fear at that age.
Oh, 100%.
And
no
go
fear.
do some absolutely crazy stuff and be like, ah!
Yeah. Whereas actually it's the other bit. You've got children that are just like, and I'm not saying all children, but you've got some that it's impacted. They're like, I can't do it. I don't know. Because they also don't know how to explore. They haven't been moving around or crawling as much, then they haven't been climbing, so then they can't manage risks or navigate turning
really
around
hard
or
to try
coming
and
down.
do that when you're locked into a house, isn't it? And
Yeah.
when everyone's in survival mode because you're trying to exist and run a life and manage children, it was hard.
Oh,
it was so
really
hard and near on impossible. So this isn't a dig at anybody, but it's just looking at that impact because of that one-off event.
And I think people are forgetting, because it's in people's minds, or it's so long ago now, it's over. The impact of it isn't over.
No.
And like you say, you've got this generation of people who were born who didn't have the freedom to explore and go to the parks and develop strength and coordination and balance and their movement opportunities in different places, which then it's having an effect on their speech and language, their ability to then write, to communicate, and they're still expected to go to school at the same age and achieve the same milestones, or they're going to be given a label to say they're not meeting expectations yet.
I think the expectations might need to move.
I think,
but
that's a whole
different thing. Okay, so obviously we have different stages of developing.
Yeah.
What kind of are the key stages that we're thinking of with children from babies through to, say, I'm going to say end of primary school? What are the kind of like the key age ranges and some top tips of things you can let them do or encourage them or support them to do at home to help with these kind of really important gross motor skills?
Okay, cool. So if we do kind of 0 to 12 months to start with, it is having stuff that is within reach, so they can feel like they've got a sense of achievement and engagement with it, but then making sure that you then move things into other, just outside of their reach. So it's encouraging the stretch, the reach, the balance, holding on to something, reaching out for things, crawling, rolling, and doing it with them and getting down with them as well. It's amazing how impactful it is just joining in with these activities with them. So sitting, engaging with them.
I still remember rolling down hills with my kids.
Oh, I loved it. I still love it
now.
Well, I'd like to do it now, but my kids just go, Mum, you've been embarrassing. But yeah, so you've got that stage. Then once they're walking, there is that element of having aids around to help them get balance.
So what age range are we talking here?
So from walking up, and because walking
is
different.
It changes at different
ages. It changes
some
for different
people,
ages.
Their kids are earlier, some
are
kids are
like
later.
9 months, whatever. So it's like from walking up to about 18 months to 2.5, that sort of kind of bit. Having lots and lots of soft cushions so that the fall doesn't hurt, the fall isn't a problem, and it's also encouraging and showing them how to roll and to roll out of that fall and play so that then they can roll and get back up again. So it's having things around that they can use to pull themselves up on, objects that are safe for them to lean on and move around. Introducing hurdles for them to get over, so there's an element of crawling and encouraging them to get over that hurdle and then turning around and coming down backwards as well is really, really good. And doing things opposite them, so it's the mirroring of tasks, not just dragging, it's actually showing and mirroring and learning. We've spoken about that in other things about how important a mirror is, but it's you're their point of reference, and so they're looking at you. And as much as the telly's cool and the iPads are cool, it stops their ability to interact with humans. So it's about managing that time with them as well. So then you get for kind of like 2.5 up to that preschool range. Now this is the best bit because you can do so much here. So you can start to explore balance activities. You can start to do hopping. Using props is really good for exploring movement here. So whether you've got hoops or balls or scarves or parachutes or ribbons or water, things like that, where they're actually doing the movement within it, and getting them out in nature as well, because the interaction with nature, there's some amazing natural obstacles that they can work with. But yeah, you can start introducing partner work as well, believe it or not. At this age, people would think, oh, they're a bit young to be doing that, but actually it's really, really good, because they'll suddenly become aware of their force as well, and then touch and their awareness of others and people in space. So you can start holding hands, doing partner work, facing each other.
So is that partner work with another kid their age, or
Yeah.
an older kid, or yourself as a parent?
Both, but you can do it, you can facilitate it with children of the same age as well, which is, it's a little bit magic. And the way that you see then the children adjusting to each other, because they're becoming socially aware of somebody else's needs at a young age. So it's really helping those connections.
Definitely those play dates. Get those
Play
dates in there.
Yeah, 100%. And then obviously as you're going up into school age, this is really, really tricky because everybody's so different, and there is a need and an expectation that they should all be able to do this at this point.
It's not possible.
It doesn't happen. And I think that's the best bit of advice I give you. People are like, oh, my child can't jump yet. Okay, that's okay. So let's help them with things that they could do to learn to jump. Not, oh, they can't jump, that means there must be a problem. It might be they're just a bit slower at picking it up, and that's okay. And they need a little bit more time, particularly if they haven't had lots of experiences before. So we do some really cool things to do with animals, mimicking the way animals walk and move. And again, linking it to stories. There's so many amazing stories out there that use animals and acting the story out a little bit. It doesn't need to be actual dance, it's just movement.
So it's a lot of play,
a lot of
storytelling, a lot of reenacting some of those, and there's some brilliant stories out there that you can reenact, and lots of things, ones that include animals and the likes, with lots of different movements you could have some proper fun with. Yeah,
and you can start to introduce as well at that age the shapes and space, so drawing letters in the air or circles in the air and big chalks outside. That's doing movement, but it's also helping their ability to write and understand the shape as well, going into forming their letters ready for school. So yeah, movement and playing is so important, and giving a space to do it. You know, not everybody has the luxury of a garden, not everybody has the luxury of space inside to be able to do these things, but there are lots of parks.
There are some, yeah.
Lots and lots of outdoor areas. You can do it even just going down the road and skipping down the road. There's a little bit where the adults got to let go of their inhibitions here a little bit, and join in and play with the child as well, to get it going. But yeah, move, play, explore, and have fun, and you'll be amazed what you'll get out of it. So yeah, I think that's why we're passionate about it. So yeah, until next time, have fun playing, have fun exploring, and yeah, get down and dance with the little kids. You'll enjoy it.